and will look forward to hear their views, their thoughts, and their suggestion that how this power sector can be improved and how we can take innovative measures so that the power scenario and quality of power can be improved in the state. We'll also look forward to very interactive, meaningful interaction with the participants, and on behalf of the Department of the Power and the Government of Assam, we extend warm welcome to all the participants. As you know, power is very crucial to our life, very critical element. Without power, we cannot think that life will come a standstill, and that is visible with the overwhelming response of the audience. I am really touched the kind of response we are getting. And I hope that this deliberation will bring new perspective to the sector. As you know, the power scenario in Assam has improved immensely. About 10 years back, we used to get hardly 8 hours, 10 hours power. Now, we are supplying 24/7 power to nook and corner of the states. Almost all the households have access to power. And we are also providing the quality power. All the industries and other commercial establishments are getting quality power without any disruption. Apart from the power supply, we have also improved the generation, we have improved the transmission. New projects are going on in the solar power, and in other areas, a lot of efforts are being made to enhance our capacity for generation of power. Recently, we have brought out a new policy, which may be very area of interest for you. In this policy, we have provided incentive to different segment of the power spectrum. And our focus is to promote the clean energy and renewable energy. Gradually, will shift from the fossil fuel based energy to the renewable energy. And our commitment is that all the industries which will be set up here in Assam now, they will be provided clean energy, renewable energy. And not only the conventional power generation and the power scenario, now we are focusing non-conventional sector. Like the clean energy policy in which says about the incentivizing the nuclear power. We are also negotiating with some of the leading powerhouses and agencies that how we can promote the nuclear power in the state of Assam. You may be knowing that Assam is birthplace of hydrocarbon. We have more than 1,000 oil wells, and some of the oil wells are 5 kilometers deep, 6 kilometers deep. So there is huge potential of geothermal energy. This is new area. And unfortunately, in our country, not much work has been done, and it is unexplored area. Now we are focusing that how Assam can leverage and take advantage and become the pioneer and leader in geothermal energy, how we can tap this potential. And I will call upon all the stakeholders who are here. You can think about and bring the investment, bring the technology, and partner with the state government, and we can jointly develop this geothermal power in the state of Assam. Our policy also focus on the solar sector, this battery storage, and other kind of areas you can think about. Apart from nuclear power, we are also exploring that can we promote the wind power in Assam. We have conducted a study, and certain areas have some potential. So we are also focusing that if we can promote the wind energy in certain areas. Our policy provides a very good and very attractive incentives. We studied the policy of all the states, and we have brought out the best incentive for you. So anyone who is interested in investment in power sector, I think this is the golden opportunity and the immense potential in the state of Assam. Our policy, our program are futuristic and very promising, and a lot of incentives are there. We are going to sign more than 40 MOUs in power sector, and there's a commitment from the stakeholders and different investors to the tune of about 75,000 crore. Yesterday we had signed one MOU with Tata, and Tata Power has committed to invest 30,000 crore in the different sector of the power, which include the nuclear power as well, renewable energy, and different kind of areas in the power sector. So once again, I extend warm welcome to all the participants, all the stakeholders, all the investors, all the policy makers, and look forward a meaningful interaction, your suggestion and ideas, how we can collectively improve the power sector and make it vibrant and more effective and futuristic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for setting the stage with your insightful remarks and vision for the future of Assam's power sector. Before we proceed towards the agenda, let us take a moment to watch an audio-visual representation that will provide an overview of the journey, achievements, and the future roadmap of Assam's power sector. Please enhance the sound of the video.
But the power sector of Assam has handled this with ease, since a robust power sector is crucial for advancement of a progressive society. The progress of Assam is inextricably linked to the development of its power sector. By providing reliable and affordable electricity, the sector fuels economic growth and improves the quality of life for its citizens. Assam power sector has come a long way under the able guidance of our visionary leader, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, and dynamic leadership of our State Chief Minister, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma. Assam power sector has come a long way over the years and has made a paradigm shift in the realm of power generation and distribution. Assam's power sector is propelled to its glory by the relentless and unremitting hard work of the perpetual trinity: Assam Power Generation Corporation Limited, Assam Electricity Grid Corporation Limited, and Assam Power Distribution Company Limited. While Assam Power Generation Company Limited is vested with the responsibility of power generation, Assam Electricity Grid Corporation Limited swiftly transmitted to every street of Assam. And finally, Assam Power Distribution Company Limited ensures a smooth distribution of power to every household and every street of Assam, thus bringing a renaissance in the power sector of Assam with the might of modern technology and state-of-the-art construction marvels. These three state-owned power utilities of Assam are maintaining profitability in recent years, culminating in a combined net worth of approximately 20,000 crore. Assam Power Distribution Company Limited is one of the best performing utilities of the country and has been able to bring down AT&C losses up to 15.5%. The government of Assam has undertaken a significant initiative to enhance power supply within the state. A substantial investment of rupees 30,000 crore has been allocated to modernize the power infrastructure, leading to construction of 200 new substations and installation of over 17,000 kilometers of new power lines. Transmission capacity of the state is being revamped from 4,500 MVA to 15,000 MVA by constructing 37 new GS. Assam's primary sources of power generation include thermal, hydroelectric, and solar energy. The state has witnessed significant improvements in its power generation scenario. Notably, the 120 megawatt Lower Kapili hydroelectric project is slated for commissioning in June 2025. Consistent with the vision articulated by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, the state of Assam has prioritized implementation of concrete measures to achieve carbon neutrality and foster sustainable development. This includes a strong focus on expanding renewable energy generation to make a substantial contribution towards India's climate change mitigation commitments. The successful implementation and commissioning of the Amguri solar power project and the first solar park is a testament to APDCL's toil and labor. In addition, the Udalguri, Boko, Nagaon and Samaguri solar power plants, each boasting a 25 megawatt capacity, are vital contributors to the state's clean and renewable energy production. Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma initiated a landmark decision to make the Assam Secretariat a net zero emissions landmark by installing rooftop solar projects on the Janata Bhavan campus. This achievement marks a significant milestone, establishing the Assam Secretariat as India's first green secretariat through the successful installation of state-of-the-art solar power plants. Guided by the visionary leadership of Assam's Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, APDCL is not merely focused on power plant construction, but is actively pursuing initiatives like the Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar scheme to bring tangible benefits to the people, particularly in cities and rural areas. Government of Assam has signed MOUs with central PSUs like NLCIL, SJVN, OTPC and Oil India Limited for development of 6,500 megawatt green power. Assam Discom has signed power purchase agreements to procure 3,000 megawatt power from various generators including NTPC, MCL, etc. Assam possesses a readily available green hydrogen market with existing refineries in Bongaigaon and Numaligarh offering significant potential for investors. Green hydrogen projects in Assam are projected to be economically viable and highly profitable for the mass as well as for the posterity in the days to come. This landmark accomplishment signifies a crucial stride on our path to a sustainable future.
Now, to provide us with the context for today's discussion, may I have the honor to invite Sri Sayedin Abbasi, IAS, Chairman APDCL, to share his thoughts and set the tone for the session. Sir.
Respected Power Minister, respected Chairman of CERC and former Chairman APDCL and former Chief Secretary of Assam, Shri Jishnu Barwa ji, Principal Secretary Power Shri K.K. Dwivedi, Mr. Devangan, CMD REC, and other distinguished dignitaries on the dais. It's a great honor to address you and all the participants here in this session of Advantage Assam relating to power and renewable energy. I don't know how many of you have been here in the yesterday, but you would have seen the great enthusiasm. Can you just, I think, the great enthusiasm that was on display from the Honorable Prime Minister himself, and the commitment which was there for the state of Assam from the highest powers that be in the land. So basically, Advantage Assam 2.0 is a landmark event basically reflecting the state's bold vision for industrial expansion, sustainable growth, and economic transformation. See, we are not just keeping pace with progress, we are also setting new benchmarks in the power sector. And over the past few years, APDCL, as I think Principal Secretary also stated, has maintained an almost 24-hour power supply situation in the state as a whole. The overall parameters of the financial health of the three arms in the power sector of the state government, which is APDCL, APGCL and AEGCL, is also equally impressive. We have a positive net worth of almost 20,000 crores, which for investors who are looking at investing here and having tie-ups for long-term power purchase agreements within the state is very, very critical, because the ability of the DISCOMs to pay the performance of the discoms, etc., is something which has to be looked at by any investor. So that is something which is to be borne in mind by the investors. I'd just like to share some data. Recently, there was the 13th rating of the ranking report for discoms by the Power Ministry. APDCL got a rating of A and a rank of 14th among 52 discoms in the country, both private and public sector. But in the 14 state discoms, our performance, we were ranked 8th. So again, something which is really commendable. Further, in terms of the consumer service ratings and the consumer satisfaction rating report which came out for 23-24, the APDCL was in the top 10 discoms in terms of consumer satisfaction. And another important point to note is that Assam was one of the pioneers in the smart metering initiative which the Government of India took. In fact, we started a little before the Government of India program, and today we have the highest penetration of smart meters amongst rural households, which stands above 50%. So that is again something which helps us in improving our performance, it helps us in various parameters and in monitoring what is happening to the discom and where the problems lie and how we can improve those. We have also done a lot in improving operational efficiency, and this has been possible because of the very, very hard work which has been put in by the management of the discom, the employees of the discom, etc., under the overall guidance and leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister. So basically, our T&D losses in 2021-22 were 16.95%, and in 23-24 now they have come down to 13.69, which is a reduction of 3.26%. But if you look at it in performance-wise, actually it's a 20% improvement in efficiency, which is pretty impressive, from 16.95 to 13.69. So, which is why we are one of the top performers in the country in terms of operational efficiency as financial prudence. So that is something which is again something of note which should be borne in mind by people. We are also making serious investments in overhauling our infrastructure. We have set up in the past few years 200 new substations, and almost 17,000 kilometers of distribution lines have been renewed and laid down. And also coming now to the green energy sector, the Principal Secretary talked about the new green energy policy, and that is not just for renewables, it's for green hydrogen and biomass, biofuels, etc. Also, we looked at the various states who were the most progressive in terms of the policies, and we took the best out of those, and we have looked to surpass them. So you really must look at the new policy which has recently been approved by Cabinet to see what are the benefits which would accrue for setting up the green energy stations, as well as the manufacturing of solar plants, solar panels, green hydrogen, etc. There's a lot of benefit which can accrue as far as the state government is willing to provide to investors. We are about to commission the 120 megawatt Lower Kapili hydroelectric project, and we are showing progress on 300 megawatts of solar power in Tezpur and Dhubri. We were a little late as far as the rest of the country is concerned in terms of implementation of solar power generation, but now we have got a policy in place, and we are looking to set up about 6,500 megawatts of green power in the state in the coming few years. Further, to support our industry, we have a scheme called Electricity at the Doorstep, which is a policy measure to provide hassle-free power connections within the state government, covering all transformation and substation costs, which would be borne by us. So that is something which is again of interest for industry, looking at setting up plants, etc. here which require power. So I've already mentioned about the green energy policy, and in that further we have gone further now, looking at setting up about 10 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030. And that will be in the area of solar, wind, biomass, waste to energy, and green hydrogen, etc. Finally, under PM Pure Ghar, Muft Bijli Yojana, we have had 17.89 lakh registrations and about 14 megawatts has already been installed. And this will not only reduce the electricity bill, but also empower households to be part of the Panch Amrit goals, which the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has set for the country. So I don't want to stand between the various panelists and all of you. I'm sure you would have a lot of questions. What I would like to say is that as we march ahead, I want to invite the industry and the investors and the innovators to collaborate with us to participate in a very exciting journey which is happening in Assam. Overall, this is not just in the power sector, but specific to the power sector also, there is a lot which is happening in the state, and I am sure if you come and invest here, if you come and participate in the power sector here, you will benefit and the state will benefit. And I look forward to greater interaction, not just in this session, but a long-term interaction between the DISCOM and the power sector of the state and all of you who are present here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your comprehensive insights on the overall power scenario in the state. Now we move on to the heart of today's discussion, an engaging panel discussion on decarbonizing energy in Assam present scenario, challenges, opportunities, and the road ahead. It is with great pleasure I would like to introduce you our distinguished moderator for this session, Sri Pinaki Bhattacharya, co-chair, FICCI Renewable Energy CEO's Committee, and founder and CEO, MPIN Energy Transition. Joining him on the panel are a group of eminent leaders and experts who bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table. Introducing our esteemed panelist, Sri Jishnu Borwa, IAS, Chairperson, Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, Sri Vivek Kumar Dewangan, IAS, Chairman and Managing Director, REC Limited, Sri Kausik Sanyal, National Head, Renewables, Tata Power Company Limited, and Sri Samit Mitra, Managing Director, Country Delivery India, Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet. Now I would like to request Sri Pinaki Bhattacharya to please take over and moderate the session.
So actually, I'll start with a quick presentation to sort of set the context, and if they can put it on. But what I would suggest is that, see, in the last 5-10 minutes, I came to know much more about the power sector in Assam than I had read about after hearing Mr. Dwivedi, after hearing Mr. Abbasi, and seeing that very informative video. So I actually sort of look forward to such conferences because this is where the policy makers, the financing providers, the consumers, that is the industry, and the practitioners like us who actually are generators of power come together to drive the energy transition much faster. Because we need synchronization, and the proof of all these good policies are actually companies setting up a lot of megawatts in the country. So I will broadly set up a context, and I'll not take more than 5 to 7 minutes because we have a very stellar panel. So I'll just go to the next slide. So as far as India is concerned, so India is perhaps the most exciting renewable energy destination in the world. We are number 4, but I truly believe we are number 1 as far as renewable energy transition is concerned. Secondly is that we have reached almost a 200 gigawatt target. We have a long way to go, 500 gigawatt, and even further than that. Some of the leading states are pointed out in the panel, like almost they have reached 20 gigawatt plus. I was at MP Invest 2 days back speaking on the same subject. And a state like Madhya Pradesh has also reached 9 gigawatts actually in the last 10 years. And I see Assam definitely at 10 gigawatts by 2030. And there are certain ideas that I saw with the MP government setting up solar parks and all, making certain issues sort of go away and get to that goal. So, so that's the overall context. Now, in terms of where does Assam lie in this picture? So as far as Assam is concerned, we have around a 12 billion unit of consumption. Out of that, almost half is consumed by the industry. Now, and I see the potential of industry to go to almost 9 billion units, which can create almost 2 gigawatt of base in Assam just selling to industrial customers. Because, see, we are in advantage Assam. The industry is being invited to Assam, and our esteemed panelists promise that they will get green energy, right? So for that, essentially, we have certain ideas how to do that. and I don't see that this is definitely a possibility. And the target of 1.2 gigawatt, what I had in this sort of slide, is now surpassed to 10 gigawatt, and I think so. If you break it into different components, let's say solar, wind, especially floating. Floating, for example, I was at MP. We did the largest floating power plant in the world, actually, Omkareshwar. So we built, own and operate the 140 megawatt Omkareshwar Dam floating power project. And Assam has almost a gigawatt of just floating power potential. So I see immense potential sort of for industrialization, decarbonization of the sector here. Now, in terms of the potential here, and almost just 1% of the potential is actually truly installed in Assam. You do not take into account hydro. So almost 14 gigawatt potential is there. Out of that, 187 megawatts are actually installed. That is the fact today. So next year, when suppose the next Assam Advantage Assam conference happens, so we need to see where do we stand. So some specific points. Now this is coming to the brass tacks, because the point is that the entire devil is in the details. So the policy has been there now in place. Now that has been tabled in 2022, but some of the exemptions have to be long term. For example, the transmission and billing charges and the ED waiver, if it is long term, that makes it financeable. Second thing is in terms of the banking, the green energy open access rules have been adopted. But for a new state like Assam, which is essentially embracing renewables and wants to get a head start, like some states nearby like Chhattisgarh or Karnataka went for 100% banking to immediately give a spurt to the sector. Then from the regulatory angle, some of these policies have to be adopted. Certain specific recommendations are there in terms of converting transmission. First is adoption of the green energy open access rules. Second is that, and I will have a question on the connectivity procedures and all, because CRC norms are there and APRC norms are there. We'll have a specific question on that. Then simple things like transmission charges are based on a per unit basis for renewable, not on a per megawatt basis. And obviously land is a big constraint as far as renewable energy deployment is concerned, and that is where we look forward to, for the government to create 150 acre solar parks, because that is what the Madhya Pradesh government did, and they have leapfrogged ahead of even like some of the neighboring states which had land issues. So, so these are certain recommendations that we have. Next is that just a brief introduction. So see, basically, all these policies are fine, economic growth is fine, but in this era, we are creating new companies. Like we were not existing 10 years back. Now we have created a $3 billion platform. We are channelizing capital from Sumitomo of Japan, SMBC, then Denmark, across the world. Now we're in 22 states, and we actually also want to do the ad. I put Assam in like a orange on the map, and by next year it should be green, because what we want to do, we want to go at least to 200 megawatt of renewables in Assam, and that's the target. And as far as green hydrogen is also a big potential. So we have tied up a partnership with Air Water, and there are certain specific questions that I have in green hydrogen in the panel. So I will stop here essentially and go to the panel discussion. Thank you. You can just stop this. Hello? Yeah. So what I will do is that I will go across all the panelists, and I will ask you all to give a quick introduction about your sort of institution or the organization you represent, and that you are made yourself available and your precious time you are spending in Advantage Assam. So what are the first point of cross-section between Advantage Assam and what is the mission of your organization? So we'll go around that, and then I'll ask specific questions, then I'll leave questions open to all. So I'll start with Mr. Devangan, who is the CMD of Renewable Energy REC. So Mr. Devangan, on to you.
Thank you, Pinaki, for giving me this opportunity. REC was formerly known as Rural Electrification Corporation Limited. Now, with a special focus on renewable energy, REC would be known as Renewable Energy Focused Company. That's what I just want to highlight. And this is in the context that we are having Advantage Assam and this huge potential in Assam for development of renewable energy. Let me just give you a brief overview. The total asset under management of REC is about 5,65,000 crore, and 10% of it is from renewable energy portfolio, about 56,000 crore. In the year 2023, July, we had organized a Green Finance Summit at Goa on the sideline of Energy Transition Working Group meeting. There we had one-on-one discussion with the renewable energy developers, OEM, and all the stakeholders, and we were able to sign MOUs worth 2,86,000 crore. Thereafter, we had RE Invest Summit in Gandhinagar in September 2024, and again there we have signed MOUs worth 1,12,000 crore. I'm happy to share with you that after having signed MOUs worth about 4 lakh crore, we have already sanctioned renewable energy projects worth about 2,20,000 crore have already been sanctioned by us, and we are covering the entire gamut of renewable energy projects, not only solar wind, hybrid solar wind, but storage solution also, be it battery energy storage, pump storage projects. We are also sanctioned hydro projects, large hydro projects, small hydro projects, electric mobility and associated charging infrastructure, solar module manufacturing, wind turbine manufacturing, green hydrogen, green ammonia. You name any of the green projects we have been financing, and we do see a huge potential in Assam to take it forward. And REC is the nodal agency of Government of India Ministry of Power for implementation of revamped distribution sector scheme. As Mr. Sajadim Abbasi has mentioned, Assam is the leading state as far as prepaid smart metering implementation is concerned, and in fact we have made Assam as role model. The success story of Assam is being replicated in other parts of the country. We as a nodal agency, we are propagating the cause of Assam. Similarly, REC is also National Program Implementation Agency for implementation of Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana that targets to install 1 crore rooftop solar in next 2 to 3 years, and majority of it will come from Assam and more particularly from the northeastern state. So this is what brief overview wanted to say. The sky is the limit for Assam, and my best wishes to advantage Assam.
Thank you, Mr. Devangan. So I next call upon Jishnu Baria sir for his sort of thoughts on Advantage Assam, and then I will need to get to questions. Mr. Barua.
Briefly, let me introduce myself. I am Jishnu Barua. I am chairperson of the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission. I have an all India mandate, but I have still come to Assam because this is my home state, and I used to wear another hat some 2 years ago. So that bond cannot be shaken off. So I've come back here. Now here I've come with a view to explaining to you how things can be done within the rules. In CRC, we have a all India picture. The grid is one. We have one national grid, and I am not aware of any country which has a single grid like ours. Even the United States has got 3 grids. China has more than 1 grid. Australia has 2 grids. So therefore, to maintain grid stability, it is of great importance that certain rules have to be put in place, and these have to be complied with by all entities, whether it is thermal or fossil-based thermal or renewable. Having said this, let me say one thing, that there is a great scope for expansion of distribution energy resources, by which I mean that you spread renewable resources all over the country and not concentrate on 5 or 7, 6 states. About 7 states in our countries have more than 80% of the renewable resources. There is a case for going to states outside Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and to the hinterland. Why I mentioned grid is to just briefly tell you in 2022 January till May 23, there were as many as 31 grid disturbances which set alarming bells everywhere. So therefore, we had to tighten many things in the recent past, but I'm aware that we need to be consistent and we have to talk about, have a long-term perspective so that there is stability. Assam or India can be a hub for green energy only when there is stability in the ground rules. So we are doing all that, and I think state has a long way to go. It has an installed capacity of 302 megawatt, which is very much on the lower side, but there is scope for much more, and the ambitious target of 10 gigawatt would really take good bit of hard work to achieve, but everything is achievable. We are going to get 500 gigawatt by 2030, and that's bound to happen. And when that happens, we have to deal with intermittent renewable energy sources that will be flowing throughout the country in a more complex manner, and that has to be tackled head on. So far, I mean, as of now, these are my initial remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barrio. So, next, I would invite our panelist from Tata, Mr. Kaushik Sanyal, to sort of give his thoughts and what Tata is sort of working in this area. I mean, since you're in Advantage Assam, so what's your broad objective for being here, and what is Tata going to do about it?
Yeah, good morning everyone. I'm Kaushik Sanyal, National Head of Tata Power. Our association with Assam in the renewable field started precisely 3 years back, and we are deeply committed, for the Assam's renewable growth. Yesterday we have signed up 30,000 crore investment in next 5 years. This is not only a figure, because there is a huge potential in Assam. As a distribution person, any renewable growth or any power sector growth has a three major backbone. One is the policy dimension. I think, I travel across India. I work in across all states of India. I think Assam policy, clean energy policies, I think one of the best policy in terms of, the preparedness, in terms of incentive. Second pillar is the, the distribution ecosystem. You can install any capacity, but if your distribution network, your transmission network, your billing network, your metering network, your tariff structure is not proper, it is not viable. So third is the intent. I can tell you, not that they are sitting on the dais, that's why I'm praising. Principal Secretary level, MD, APDCL level had at least 10 rounds of discussion in last 1 month how to promote solar. As a DISCOM guy, general tendency of DISCOM used to be, to prevent renewable because it is actually eating the, the revenue of the DISCOM. But I think Assam DISCOM is one of the most proactive DISCOM in that part, that they are promoting solar. Dwivedi sir told me, Kaushik, I want 5 gigawatt in Assam. So we have committed 5 gigawatt. It's a huge number. He has, supporting in terms of this area, you can get land, you can, this thing, that is one part. Second, see the, the power mix in Assam. Industry is almost 50%, tea is a predominant. Tata Power, we have done several tea garden, and shortly I will explain, even with the 9 months load, there is a payback of 4.5 years. That's the kind of figure. In terms of residential, I think, if I'm not wrong, 65 lakhs electrified residential houses there. Even we can convert 5% of that, that itself is 900 megawatt. And this is the second angle, the economical angle. So every household, every commercial, every industrial customer, it is a gold mine. Forget about, the renewable part. You are getting your money in 4.5 years. In case of residential, I think in PM Suryaghar, Assam is, I think, second highest subsidy declared state after Odisha. 45,000 on a 3 kilowatt subsidy, 78,000 is the central subsidy, 10% additional northeast subsidy. So you are getting almost 60% through subsidy route, and on a 3 kilowatt system, the kind of payback you will get, it is less than 2 years. So it is a gold mine. That is the second economical angle. Third angle is the societal angle. Every year, you can check the Google, 6 lakhs people die on pollution. So even if you are installing a 3 kilowatt system on your residence or a 100 kilowatt system in your industrial setup, you are saving life. So, and Tatas we have introduced, whoever is, going for a green project, we are putting up a, nameplate that they are the green champion with their residential address and name. So I think we are, sir, committed, and personally I come every month. We are now, will be working on wind, as sir is saying, because with solar you can go up to 30%. So there is a lot of industry, cement industry, other they have a RE100 aspiration. With that you need to blend solar into this, we need to blend storage into this. So with solar and wind, you can go up to 66%. With storage, you can go up to 90%. And the state where pump storage is coming, you can go to 98 to 95%. So I think the kind of economical growth we are seeing, and the kind of GDP growth of Assam, yesterday Modi ji was presented, I think the 10 gigawatt target is 100% achievable, and from Tata Power's end, we are totally committed to focus in our Assam. From our group chairman to our MD to me, Assam is our focus state, sir.
Thank you, Kaushik. So next is Mr. Mitra. So basically, so maybe you can tell a little bit about your organization, and I'll ask you a question in terms of decentralized energy systems. So what do you think that will those systems will play a role in Assam's energy transition? So introduction as well as the first question.
Thanks, Pinaki. I represent this organization called Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet. In short, it's known as GAP. So we work at a national level and at a subnational level with the state governments and the national government. So at a national level, we are partnering with Niti Aayog on energy transition planning for 10 states. We are working with MNRE on the PM Surya Ghar Yojana. And also we are managing the multi-trust fund of ISA, International Solar Alliance, which is a collaboration between the Indian government and the French government. On a subnational level, at a state level, at present we are working with 7 states, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Maharashtra, Rajasthan and Nagaland. And we are in deliberation with 3 more states, including Assam. India has taken a very aggressive target of 500 gigawatt to be achieved on renewables to be achieved by 2030. Now, if that has to happen, at least 20 to 25% of that has to come from decentralized renewable. What I mean by decentralized renewables are smaller systems, situated at the place of consumption, instead of having bigger solar parks and transmitting over a longer distance. And in that line, our Honorable Prime Minister has set a target for, we know for PM Kusum, he has set a target for rooftop solar for MSMEs, and obviously now with the rooftop solar for residential. And all of this adds up to, as I said, somewhere around 20 to 25%. So somewhere between 110 gigawatt out of that 500 gigawatt. Now, if this 110 gigawatt also needs to be achieved, it needs 3-4 different things, and that's where kind of we are working with the state governments. So what we look at is how the state government's roadmap or their vision is aligned to the central government's vision. What are the programs where there is an overlap, there is an alignment, and it can be taken forward? What are the challenges or barriers which are there? So as I said that, we are a not-for-profit organization, so our main role is to work on barriers or challenges so that the sector can be unlocked, the sector can grow. So for example, like, UP has taken up this very aggressive program on providing solar or providing renewable to women enterprise. Now they have taken a target of 100,000 such women to be solarized in the next 3 years. Now in order to do that, what are the challenges? What are the supports required? Government is bringing in some policy on that. How do we kind of mobilize the private sector? Because none of these programs can succeed if there is no private public kind of partnership. So that is very important. How do you mobilize the private sector? Similarly, in Rajasthan, they have tweaked the PM Kusum scheme in such a way that in the last 1 year they have achieved almost 0.5 gigawatt of irrigation solarization. So what are the things which are required to be done there? I mean, I think somebody mentioned about land and other things. So those are challenges on the ground. How do you work around that? How do you make the challenge an opportunity? So that's where I think working as an alliance, working as a group kind of brings in the result. Coming to your last point, Pinaki, I mean, as I mentioned that, we kind of work on the DRE space primarily to kind of work on the programs which the state government has undertaken as their focus programs. So in Assam also, we are working with a few departments in conceptualizing, designing and forming programs which can take the DRE initiative forward. Thank you.
Okay. So I think so we have around 13 minutes remaining and we have to leave, there is 5 minutes at the end, Honorable Minister will speak. So I'll ask now quick questions across the board and I will also give my opinions, like this is the land of Goswami, so moderator should have opinions. So essentially, as far as the first question, I'll just ask Mr. Devangan, in terms of the CNI sector, see, because almost 2 gigawatt potential is for the CNI sector in Assam to embrace renewables, and we have a perfect formula to take any CNI customer to 100% renewables through intrastate open access, interstate open access, virtual PPAs and decentralized generation. So now all of these customers do not have the best credit rating, okay? Now, are there any credit enhancement tools or something that REC can provide so that the MSMEs and industries like that can also access the renewable energy transition and it is not just left to the large corporates who get it?
Let me tell you that Honorable Finance Minister during her budget speech has announced that in this budget, this partial credit enhancement guarantee has been provided through NAFED. NAFED will be supporting for this kind of initiative for credit enhancement, and yes, we are supporting the commercial and industrial customers. REC, we already sanctioned a few projects amounting to about 1,000 crore and one project was there about 1,800 crore. So we are very open for this commercial and industrial sector and we are committed to support C&I segment.
Thank you, sir, on that. So next question is to Mr. Barua. So now for a new state like Assam, now APRC is coming out with regulations for connectivity, for DSM and all those things, which obviously should be there across the country because to ensure there is a stable grid. And the good news, at least on that, is that the energy storage has now become very cheap and at least all the substations will have energy storage now. But for a state like Assam, which is at 302 megawatt and going to 10 gigawatt, some of these sort of norms, can it be a bit relaxed, let's say, because see the generation estimation is not that accurate at this stage because there's not enough data. So for instance, the connectivity procedures or the DSM regulations, can it be relaxed a little bit or even banking going to 100% as far as Assam is concerned? So, and what are your thoughts on that?
While, I did mention that there is a uniform single grid. There is scope for some relaxation, but it will not be at the level of CERC. We have what is known as the Forum of Regulators of the Power Sector, which is working on this particular issue, how to adapt the grid code to the local circumstances. There is some scope there. But if you say that there's going to be a big change in relaxation with regard to frequency, I'm afraid that's not possible, and that, of course, we need to all tighten up, because in future, with 500 gigawatt coming here, we are going to have very serious disturbances. The point that I was earlier making, let me elaborate a little bit. When you have concentrated, grid-connected renewable energy in few states, that's not always a good, a very good example, not always a very good case. We need to have what you call distribution energy, energy at every level. In other words, land-mounted, ground-mounted panels and rooftop, where there's a huge scope that will cut down transmission costs, and it will also lead to greening of electricity, at least in Assam. I'm so happy to note, and you mentioned, I think Mr. Abbasi mentioned, that the AT&C losses have come down to 13%. This is really something that we should all be proud of, and I'm very proud of this achievement, because I was a part of this organization 2 years ago. So I think with a stable distribution company, which is performing well, with very low subsidy base, there's hardly any subsidy given to anyone in the state. There is some cross-subsidization, but no subsidy from government. There is no agriculture subsidy. Despite that, achieving 13% is remarkable. So with a party like, with a distribution company like APDCL, which a PPA with will be always honored. So this place has the scope for PPAs, very fruitful PPA with energy, with renewable energy players. And I think even if this UF is, it doesn't matter.
There's a delta. Almost 25% saving is there.
If you increase the number of panels, maybe it will work. Because let me say one last thing about Assam, that though the area is around 78,000 square kilometers approximately, 15,000 square kilometers are in the hills, where the density of population is less than 30 per square kilometers. Where in the plains of Assam, it is very high.
Yes.
So there is scope in those areas to have both wind power as well as solar power. So that's the way to go.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you. So I'll ask two quick questions to Mr. Dwivedi and Mr. Abbasi. So in terms of the grid stability also, it makes a lot of sense to have a lot of generation capacity in Assam, rather than just buying interstate and all. And to do that, essentially, you need land. And you need a policy which takes away the sort of the fact that the generation here is lower, but certain policy intervention can make it very attractive in terms of the landed cost of today. It's almost 25% lower than the grid cost today. So now, as far as now the land bank scheme is concerned, now what is your view in terms of creating 150 megawatt, 150 acre land banks essentially, which are closer to substations, so that private sector can put up power plants in Assam, so that a lot of generation is not coming only from Western India. So any thoughts in terms of the creation of land banks and giving it a revenue land essentially to private players on a lease scheme?
As power is a priority for the state government and for the state economy, so land will not be a problem, and will definitely, whatever the commitment of government is there, will arrange the land for solar power as well as any kind of renewable energy. And we are also looking for, as I said, geothermal, wind power and the nuclear power, which require less space, less land is required. As Jishnu Barua sir has said that in hilly area, we have identified many piece of land And in other part of state, we have also identified land, and we are also looking for if a large chunk of land we can identify, acquire, and set up a energy park where the large scale of the power generation plants can be set up there. So what I would like to make that land will not be a problem, though it is challenging, but government is committed to arrange the land, and those land which is not being used for which unused, uncultivable land. So we are identifying those land and will be provided for power sector.
Sure, thank you. And I hope that is given to the private sector also, because for APTCL, I think the best format is still to buy power from outside of Assam, because it's cheaper than the APPC. But for industrial, it is 8 rupees, so it is viable to power the industrial customers from Assam itself. And one last question actually for Mr. Abbasi, if you want to, like on hydrogen, we have not covered that topic, actually green hydrogen. So on basically a lot of the refineries have a potential for green hydrogen now. Now they may not be connected to the DISCOM. Now, so they are behind the end user. They're at 415 volt level. So if there is a tripartite agreement being created between the end user and the green hydrogen provider, they can then, and the DISCOM, then they can access the green energy open access. So any thoughts around it? Because that will open up the green hydrogen sector actually.
No, I mean, in principle, we are not opposed to it. Of course, this is something we maybe have to tweak in the policy, because, yeah, I mean, with the refineries, etc., this is something which can be done with having a tripartite agreement with the end user and the, refineries and us to that extent. But right now, I don't think it exists, but this is something which we can definitely explore. Another point, you see, on the land point that you had made, I mean, in Karbi Anglong, already for a 1000 megawatt solar park, we have identified land. Some of it is being done through an EPC mode, but some of it is also through a PPA mode that we are exploring now to be set up shortly. Also for, for conventional power, actually land, I mean, there's another hat that I wear, which is of the Water Resources Department. Brahmaputra actually is one of the most braided rivers in the world. So there are places where it is about 16 kilometers broad. Reclamation of land is something which countries like Bangladesh are already doing on the river, on the same river. So there is possibility there for a thermal plant, because naturally, reclaiming land and doing it for solar with the power density would be too low to justify that kind of investment. But that is something which you are also actively exploring.
But also for floating solar, almost a gigawatt potential
of course,
is possible.
this was something which Chairman CRC was also mentioning. The river, as well as a lot of water bodies, is something on which floating solar can be looked at. The challenge, of course, in Assam is really that you have 3 or 4 months of very high rain, yes, and then, the water really sort of draws down. Yeah. So, particularly on the river as to whether it can be done, but definitely on the water bodies like beels, etc., where there's no moving current, it is something which is definitely viable. That is something we can explore.
Sure. I think so. Thank you for those remarks. So I think so we have covered almost all the topics now, and I would like to invite Honorable Minister, sir, to give his closing thoughts. Unless anybody else has anything to say, I think so we are running out of time. Can we do it after his address? Just some questions, okay. So yeah, please do ask questions.
Sir, I'm Colonel Munesh Ahuja. The topic of the subject is decarbonization of Assam. And thank you to all the panelists. Sir, we've taken only electricity in that, which is almost about 21-22% of the energy basket. So the larger elephant in the room is the 80% of decarbonization of the energy. And if anything there on the policy, the transportation, the cooking, the aviation, so the waterways which are going to come up. So the policy is not talking about anything on the 80% decarbonization. And is there a ministry there? Is somebody looking at it? And I think that's where there is a big shift. And I have reviewed the India's energy policy and the roadmap also. I've been fortunate to review it from the Prime Minister's office side. And we are at best going to be 25% on electricity, even with the growth. So what about the 75%? And who's going to fund that? Who's going to get a policy around that? So that's my question, sir.
I mean, I think so I can ask somebody to take that question. However, if you see, this is talking about power component to decarbonizing Assam. So, but
See, you have very valid point. Let me tell you, yesterday we signed an MOU with Greenco, and they will set up a plant for the sustainable aviation fuel. So that will be, they make the fuel from methane, something like that. And under the policy also, we are also promoting these kind of initiative. Like we are also giving incentive for the compressed biogas. And so those are also on the our radar and agenda. And one agency has come forward, they have signed MOU. So they are also considering the CBG. Another area is, as Sir has told about the green hydrogen. So that is we are also looking for. The NRL has set up a biofuel refinery. So now the biofuel will be used and will be mixed with the petrol and diesel. And we have 3-4 ethanol industries, and some new ethanol industries will be set up. This agreement has been signed yesterday, so we are expecting another 3-4. So the entire energy scenario, the entire this energy paradigm is shifting. So there's a lot of potential, a lot of things are happening. And there's different departments like our industry department and other departments are dealing with different kind of intervention. Thank you.
Just to add,
Let me
there is a
supplement.
transport policy. So in that promotion of electric vehicles is done. But freight, etc., I don't think the world over there is too much happening in terms of, converting to renewable.
Industrial decarbonization. There's a boiler in every industry. Somehow gets missed out with the industries and the electricity RE department. And thumb rule basis, 1 gigawatt electric is 3 gigawatt thermal. But we don't report thermal. We're not doing that. So somebody has to take that lead for that industrial decarbonization also to happen.
I think that point is well taken.
Let me supplement what Colonel Monisha Ahuja had asked. There's a resource group of secretaries at the Government of India level which is looking into the decarbonization of the economy, and Niti Aayog is leading that initiative. And all the ministries concerned, like Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Ministry of Road Transport and Highway, Ministry of Housing Urban Affairs, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Ministry of Coal, Ministry of Power, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, they are all part of that. There's a lot of thinking is going on. A roadmap has also been prepared for decarbonizing the entire, not only electricity, but all components of the economy.
thank you. So I think so we can just take one more question, and I think so I see him first. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, rather. Time is short. My questions will be very straightforward. And good afternoon, Mr. Abasi, sir. We met in Dubai during a roadshow. And
Can you come to the question?
yeah, the question is, do we have any scope for small investment? All the time we have been hearing about big amounts, Do we have any scope for small investors for my company? So we can go a maximum of, say, 20 crores. Here, we have no chance in heavyweights like the Tata Power or anyone. So is there any provision for small investors like, say, 10, 15 crores, 20 crores? We are in or we are out?
I mean, I don't think there is any sort of key. No, we will not, encourage investment of 15 crores or 20 crores. Even small solar, projects can come in. I mean, we are not somebody who would discourage and say, no, 3 megawatt is too small or something like that. That is something which we can, of course, discuss.
So I
You
presume
can put money in
there's
Kusum. Through the Kusum scheme, it allows smaller investments actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, decentralized is all about, small investments.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, so one last question.
Yeah, thank you.
That was
Thank you,
second
sir.
last.
Yeah. Sir, I had a question on the renewable policy. What is happening on hydel? I'm asking this question because I represent the tea sector, and our maximum production peaks during the monsoon. So if open access of hydel was there, perhaps our power cost will come down. We are doing a lot of solar, as you mentioned, Mr. Sanyal. Solar has taken off from tea estates, and we are very happy with the EXIM policy. But on hydel, I did not see much in the Assam renewable policy. except for the target of setting up 25 projects. But if, for the tea sector particularly, it will be very beneficial. That was one question, and I have a submission for the chairman at CERC. So this 1 megawatt eligibility for open access, is there a scope for looking at some flexibility there?
Hello.
Because
Yeah,
TS
1
as you
megawatt,
know,
that is not a requirement imposed by CERC.
no, sir, I'm not aware. I'm just putting it to the
See,
panel.
the state regulators can always change it. State
Okay,
government
okay.
can do it.
So,
we have not put any such.
we are looking at this as the tea sector, whether we can as a cluster. Okay, we can accumulate.
It is already
Fair
reduced.
enough.
It is reduced to 100 kilowatt actually.
as
So
far
you can
as-
access
yeah,
it.
So as far as Hydel open access is concerned, what is the outlook? I just wanted to know that.
Idle open access is what you're wanting.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, we can discuss this because, I mean, it's not really been sort of come as a demand from any.
No, it's not a demand, it's a prospect that we are looking at. We did not see much of Hydel in the open access policy.
Well, actually, I mean, the reason why we did not look at Hydel too much is that Assam, as you know, is relatively flat and there is not too much potential of significant, I mean, micro Hydel maybe, but something above 1 megawatt or 2 megawatt even in Hydel, there's not too much potential currently in the state, but we can discuss.
Fair enough. And just one last submission, sir, to you. See, we find that this net metering policy for solar is varying across states. West Bengal has a different policy. Assam has the EXIM policy. Gujarat has a better policy. I mean, why can't we have one policy of net metering across?
Okay. So I think
This
so.
is not possible.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think so.
Thank
You
you.
can speak with the panelists after the panel discussion. We're running short of time. So one only specific question and not a counter question to the question. A real question. So anybody has a real question? Question. Not a comment.
Hello panel. So what are the policies have you taken in the field of biomass? So electricity generation from the field of biomass. What are the policies have you taken in the field of biomass from electricity generation from biomass or waste plants?
See, our clean energy policy has been notified just few days back. It is available on our website. I will request you can just go through it, and we are incentivize any kind of investment in biogas. And a lot of capital investment subsidy and other kind of incentives are there. This is one of the most attractive and best policies so far the biogas is concerned. Yeah.
Okay, so now I invite Honorable Minister, sir, to sort of give his closing address.
Namaskar. Honorable industry's leader and distinguished guests, it is a privilege to stand before you, prestigious gathering. Today, I am going to explain our mission and vision on renewable energy. Under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and dynamic leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma ji, Assam targeting to achieve 10 GW renewable energy capacity from 2030 years. Through various ways such as solar, hydro, biomass, green hygienic technologies. Solar energy. Regarding solar energy, our existing capacity 302 megawatt, and we have an additional 3,500 megawatt in the pipeline, including 1,000 megawatt মুখ্যমন্ত্রী কল্যাণ আঁচনি, কাৰ্বি আংলং and Surya Sakalpa project, 1000 megawatt joint venture between APDCL and NCL India Limited, and 1000 megawatt joint venture between APDCL and SJVN Green Energy Limited, targeting 218,000 households by 2027 by rooftop solar explosion under the PM Surya Ghar. 50 megawatt power project at Sunitpur district. Hydropower. Regarding hydropower, we have developed two projects. 120 megawatt Lower Kopili hydroelectric project by APGCL. 46.5 megawatt from two small hydro projects in West Karbi Anglong district. Biomass and waste energy, we are developing waste energy plant to convert urban waste into bio CNG and biofuel. Green hydrogen and battery storage. Regarding green hydrogen, we are targeting 2 KTPA green hydrogen and green ammonia product by 2030. 250 megawatt battery storage system collaboration with ONGC Tripura Power Company Limited. Policy support. Government of Assam has come up with Assam integrated clean energy policy by 2025 to speed up the renewable energy growth, and at an investment initiative under the schemes are as follows. Waive an exemption of transmission, distribution and electricity duty. Subsidize on power cost on capital investment. SGST reimbursement. Land priority to be given for renewable energy project. So, in order to make our renewable energy mission successful, we invite investor to stockholder to join us in solar project, small hydro power development, wind energy exploration, biomass and waste to energy project, green hydro and battery storage solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words and your commitment to fostering a sustainable energy future in Assam. We express our sincere thanks to all the distinguished panelists for their insightful perspectives and thought-provoking contributions. Your expertise has provided us with a deeper understanding of Assam's path towards a sustainable energy transition. With that, we conclude this enlightening session on decarbonizing energy in Assam's present scenario. Now, I would just like to request our Honorable MD, Sri Rakesh Kumar sir, to please present a small gift as a token of gratitude and appreciation to our distinguished panelists for their valuable presence today. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request all the protocol officers to please escort our esteemed guests to the MOU signing hall.
Terima kasih.